probably heard reference of skinwalkers at one point or another. Now, what I want to do is not only introduce you to the concept of a skinwalker, but also explain why I believe it to be the most terrifying mythical creature ever. A large population of Navajo people firmly believe in skinwalkers and even go as far as to limit how much they disgust the evil creatures. Skinwalkers are a witch or shaman of sorts that murdered someone close to them. They often appear as animals, although typically in a beaten and blood state. Although they are commonly described as shapeshifters, it is better to think of them as embodying the skin of their victims. Skinwalkers aren't known to kill without a motive and typically stay to themselves. However, if a skinwalker does have a reason to kill, it starts by isolating its victim. They do this best by calling out to the victim, mimicking a familiar voice to lure you towards them. Skinwalkers are known to have limited vocabularies and are believed to only know the last words of their previous victims, which is why they are commonly reported to be screaming violently or begging for help. Skinwalkers are not invulnerable and for that reason avoid groups in fights that they believe they cannot win. But just know, if you ever scare a deer and you see it run away on its back legs, they probably wasn't a deer. Let me know which creature you guys found to be the scariest. I appreciate you guys watching. We're dropping new videos every single week. So if you're new, feel free to subscribe. And if you ever see a skinwalker, leave it alone. Trust me, bro. So you probably know about the Alaskan bullworm, right? Well, the Mongolian deathworm is a bit worse. The Mongolian deathworm is a creature alleged to exist in the Goa Desert. In the book On the Trail of Ancient Man, an eyewitness in 1922 described the worm as the following. It is shaped like a sausage about 2 or 3 feet long, has no head nor legs, yet it's so poisonous that merely touching it means instant death. It lives in the most desolate parts of the Goa Desert. The creature itself is believed to live below the sand and only surfacing to attack its prey, which consists of small rodents, camels, and humans. Besides the creepy nature of a large 2-3 feet long worm, what's even scarier is its method of killing its prey, which typically consists of either spitting a toxic acid or simply burrowing into the victim's body with its large teeth. Either way, the Mongolian deathworm is super scary and not something I'd want to experience. 2. Wendigo. The Wendigo originates from the Algonquin people of Canada and US, and it is a folklore creature that is believed to exist to this day, hidden in extremely remote areas. The Wendigo is often said to be a malevolent spirit that possesses regular innocent humans, like you or I once possessed. The victim becomes overtaken by this insatiable hunger, greed, and desire for human flesh. Wendigos are commonly described as giants that are many times larger than human beings. Whenever a Wendigo ate another person, it would grow in proportion to the meal it had just eaten, so it could never be full. Therefore, Wendigos are portrayed as simultaneously gluttonous and also extremely thin due to starvation. Although descriptions can somewhat vary, the common denominator between all descriptions of the Wendigo is that it is a malevolent, cannibalistic, supernatural being. In a Jarway teacher and scholar from Canada gave this description of a Wendigo. The Wendigo was gaunt to the point of emaciation, its desiccated skin pulled tightly over its bones, with its bones pushing out against its skin. Its complexion was gray of death, and its eyes pushed back deep into their sockets. The Wendigo looked like a gaunt skeleton recently disinherited from its grave. What lips it had were tattered and bloody, unclean and suffering from suppuration of the flesh. The Wendigo gave off a strange and eerie odor of decay and composition of death and corruption. Wendigo is seen as the embodiment of gluttony, greed, and excess. Never satisfied, after killing and consuming a person, they are consistently looking and searching for new victims. I think one of the creepiest attributes, besides being huge and terrifying in nature, is that they still have the human abilities of the victim that they possessed, meaning that the Wendigo can talk, have mental clarity, maybe not mental clarity, but it can think, and it can taunt and even threaten its victims. The concept and potential existence of the Wendigo to me is terrifying and gets us one step closer to our final entry on the list. 1. Skinwalker. If you're a true meme connoisseur, you've probably have someone